slow, to tend not tear, to speak with gentle truth and listen in repair. When the storms roll in and nights run long, we're rooted in your faithful love is still strong. Plant the seed, tend the soil, let the Spirit be the rain. In the beautiful marriage garden you are mending every pain. With a chord of three unbroken we will stand and sing. Love grows wild and holy in the shelter of the King. For the single heart that's learning how to wait for the bride and groom with calendars and fate. For the decades deep who water vows with grace. No seasons ever wasted in your cultivated place. Judge us tools to heal, to reconcile and forgive, to guard our words with wisdom and choose peace is how we live. Plant the seed, tend the soil, let the Spirit be the rain. In the beautiful marriage garden you are mending every pain. With a chord of three unbroken we will stand and sing. Love grows wild and holy in the shelter of the King. We'll prune our pride, lift truth to life, and pray through every night. We'll learn to fight for us, not me, and keep our hearts contrite. Speak life, listen slow, let your word be where we go. Unity with purpose, hand in hand we grow. Plant the seed, tend the soil, Spirit be our rain. Make our covenant a mirror of your kindness once again. With a chord of three unbrokenly belong to you. Beautiful marriage garden, blossoming in truth. Let it grow in your love, we bloom again.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. My name is Mary, and this is the Beautiful Marriage Garden podcast. If today is your first time of joining us, we are so excited to have you here. We look forward to having an interesting conversation with you. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, hey, it's never too late. Subscribe, share this podcast to friends and family who will benefit from today's podcast. We are here one more time today to talk about an interesting conversation, to continue what we started talking about last week, and also to bring clarity to some of the things we've been talking about in the past few days. So if today is your first time of joining us, please, I recommend that after this stream, visit our playlist, the Beautiful Marriage Garden podcast, and view the previous streams you've had, because this conversation is far from being over. I'm sure today will be the last time we'll finish the conversation on how to write a marriage checklist, but we've had previous videos. This will be the third episode on this particular conversation. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Mary. How are you doing this morning?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you too?
I'm highly blessed and favored as well. Great.
We thank God. Are you excited to be here today?
I am. Today happens. We didn't imagine that this conversation will span 4 episodes. I'm hoping that today we can bring it to an end. God
I
willing.
hope so too. I hope so too. It's been an interesting episode or conversation, I must say, bringing about the diverse things that we actually take for granted when we are talking about marriage and relationship. But before we start, I just want to let our audience know the event we spoke about the last week. Let me see if I can share my screen. Yes. Micah, can you see my screen share?
Yes, I can see that.
Excellent. So I want to use this platform to singularly invite our audience to a virtual book launch. It's virtual, so you can actually join from wherever you are in the world. It's happening on February 15th. That's the day after Valentine's Day. And it's happening on Zoom. We are going to launch our book, Single and Searching, A Lady's Guide to Find and Attract the Right Husband. This book has been written with diligence, with love, and with personal conversations that we have gathered from people who volunteer to contribute to this book. I believe that every single lady who hears my voice or who has not even seen us before need this book to make the right choices in marriage and also to prepare themselves well. Most times when we talk about marriage, we are thinking about us waiting for some man to come from out of the blues and to make us feel good and all that. But you have a role to play in your own marriage. So this is an invitation we are throwing to every single lady out there on Sunday, February 15th on Zoom. The time is 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join us from wherever in the world. Let's talk about single and searching. We'll have a preview of the book. We'll raise some of the conversations, discussions we raise in the book, and most importantly, you have the opportunity to also purchase a copy of the ebook. At the moment, the ebook is available already, but on the platform, I believe probably some discounts. I'm not so sure of that, but we'll confirm that on that day. But hop online and join us in this conversation. Michael, is there anything you want to share about this book launch?
Yeah, I want to encourage people to get this book not because we wrote it or not because we are looking for to gain to promote it whatsoever, but mainly because of the content in it. Myself, after we wrote the book, I sat down to review the content, and I personally was blessed, particularly when it came to things like how to hear God concerning your relationship using the inner peace and situations and counsels from others. And so we want to recommend this book for people single. If you're a single lady, you are searching for a spouse, there is a part that you have to play. And they are not massively huge steps, but not doing them can go to your disadvantage. So we invite you to come and listen. We'll share the complete outline on that day, and you will see that this is a book you must have. There's one we are writing for single men, but that is still in the pipeline.
Thank you. And even if you are a single man, I think it's still an opportunity for you to come and listen to the conversation. Maybe after hearing the nitty gritty of this book, you can recommend it to your sister, a woman in your life, a friend, somebody who will find this book very, very useful. And if you've not also visited our bookshop yet, go to www.michaelandmaryagrona.com/bookstore. We have a couple of materials we think that will be a blessing unto you. I think this week we had two materials coming up, which is on Amazon. We have this journal for intentional stewardship. It's a 60-day journal called Redeeming the Time to help you actually plan your day. This is a very detailed journal. You could see each day you can actually write what I did from this time to this time. We believe that if you use this journal for at least 60 days, it will help you to become very intentional with your time. Most times we claim that we don't have time, but if you should journal your day very well, you realize that you're actually wasting the time you said you don't have. So this book is available on Amazon. You can buy it straight from Amazon or go to our website and click on the link. It's called Redeeming the Day. We also have this devotional, which is called the Dominion Path. You can actually download the free PDF on our website. Go to free ebooks. But if you want a paper copy printed beautifully like this, obviously we don't give out the paper copy. You would have to go to our bookstore and buy it straight from Amazon. Yeah. So, but if you want just the e-copy, you can get it from our website. And it's a year-long devotional. And this is specifically for people who are looking forward to spiritual growth. If your purpose is not for spiritual growth, I'm not sure this devotional will be helpful for you. And as always, you have to plan your devotion according to your current level. Okay, so these are the two announcements we have. Sunday, February 15th event and the new books in our store. If today is also your first time, you can visit our YouTube channel and preview some of our materials. Now, Michael, is it okay if I hand over to you?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you very much, Mary. I want to use the opportunity to welcome every one of you, those of you joining us from Africa, from Europe, from Asia, from North America, or any part of the world, Australia. I want to say God bless you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Um, I can see a chat from Facebook. Thank you so much for sending the chats. Yes. Um, I want to carry on with today's topic, but I'll briefly touch on the topics we've been discussing over the past 1 year, and then let you know what it is that we have spoken about in the past. So, Mary, is it okay if I am able to share my screen? Yeah, I'm trying to share my screen. Let me know if you can see it from your side. Is it showing, Mary?
Yes, I can see it from my side, and I
Yes.
hope our viewers can see it as
So,
well.
um, we've been talking about a couple of topics in the past. One of the topics we've handled is a series. So, you find about 4 to 5 hour videos on how to heal from past relationship. This is very, very important. And I mentioned last year that we're working on a course to really guide people, because if you have heard from the past, you begin to make decisions from the point of hurt. And oftentimes you find that you would mistaking good people for bad people because you are seeing them through the lens of the past. So it's, if you are somebody in that situation, take the time, go through these videos and glean on the truth we share there. Physical features and love. How important are physical features when you are choosing a marriage spouse? And we'll be touching a little bit on that today as well. We spoke extensively on proposal. What is proposal? How do you propose? When do you propose? A lady, you cannot really go around proposing to guys, but what do you do as a lady if guys are showing interest but they are not speaking without compromising your values or doing something that is ungodly? So we touch on that a lot. We have also spoken about very crucial conversations you should be having when you are in a love relationship. It's okay to say, "Oh, I love you. You look cute. You look that," and that's good. That's not bad. But that alone doesn't prepare you for marriage. Once you get into the marriage, you find that life is happening, reality settling in, bills are there to be paid, children, and so the dynamics changes. So you have to really prepare yourself now, have those conversations now before you enter. So we touch extensively on things you should be discussing and agreeing on before you enter your marriage. We spoke about the 5 love languages, and this is also a very important one. Many conflicts that we get in relationships comes from that, because I might not speak your language. You might not speak my language. There's a language for love. In other words, the way I feel loved is not how you feel loved. If you are trying to show me love through your language, I don't understand. And you might think, oh, he's not appreciative. I bought him so many gifts and he just said, thank you. Or I cleaned his shoe, or I cleaned her shoe. I cleaned her shoe, and she didn't even say anything. Well, sometimes it might not be ingratitude. Sometimes it's just because that you are not speaking their love language. So we touch on, Mary did a great job touching on love languages there. We spoke about how to search for a spouse, and a lot of the content in there was gleaned from the book we will be launching in the month of February. It is not the case that you sit down and fold your arms and pray only, and then all of a sudden a guy comes to your doorsteps knocking and said, God told me you are my wife, I've come. Or a lady comes and say, I am your better half, oh, you better choose me. It doesn't work that way. It's a partnership between you and God. If you ignore God's shalom, I can see a message from, I say, at Lord Kavi, shalom. So if you neglect God's role, you're in trouble. If you also put it all on God, you might just be irresponsible in that sense. So we start on what to do when you are searching. How to discover your call is the next one we spoke about. Very important. If you don't know what your life is about, you don't need a second person in your life. You don't, because why do you need someone else if you don't know what you are doing in life? It's like someone saying, "Oh, can you help me locate this place?" And I say, "Okay, yes, I want to help you. Where are you going?" I don't even know where I'm going. Oh, you can see how funny that looks like. That's how it is. If you're a guy, you don't know your life vision and you are bringing somebody on board. If you're a lady, you don't know your life vision and you're trying to find a guy, it's like saying, I've come into this company to work, but I don't even know why I'm here. Oh. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know where I fit in. That's how it is for a lady who doesn't know her life call and is finding a spouse. Then lastly, we've started this new series on checklist, and this is the fourth discussion. So I'll rush through quickly the the content we've done in the past, just for the sake of those who were not here. We said a checklist is a list of items you take off when it's done. Then we mentioned that there are various categories of checklists. There is the character checklist, where somebody wants to marry a person who is humble, who is kind, who is hardworking. There is the physical checklist. Some people want to marry a slim looking, fair lady. There is the cultural checklist. There is the financial checklist. There is the faith checklist. There is the character checklist, professional and vocational checklist. There is the and I've mentioned physical checklist. Now, we mentioned that there are two main problems when it comes to the issue of checklist. If your heart is so glued to checklist, it raises a lot of problems. There are two main ones. The first is that most of our checklists are not coming from a place of conviction or a place where God has impressed that on your heart. Most times we write checklists because it's just come from our own desire. If you ask a lady who wants to marry a guy who is masculine and hairy, if you ask her, how did you arrive at this? They will said most likely will not tell you, I spent 4 days fasting and waiting, and God impressed on my heart that this is the kind of guy to marry. Most times, no. They are just doing that because that's the kind of person they desire or admire. Now, the second of the problem is that God often doesn't work with our checklist. The scripture says that as high as the heavens are from the earth, so are his plans very different from your plans. So we have a problem here, big problem. You are looking to marry somebody, you don't know the future, you even don't know the person truly well enough. And so you need God to help you see the future. But you have your checklist. God is also having his own scheme, his own plans, and you are holding on tightly to your checklist. So there'll be massive chaos there. Now, we mentioned why you shouldn't hold on tightly to your checklist. One, if you are so glued to your checklist, chances are when God is speaking to you, you will not hear because your heart is clouded by your list. Two, you are likely to miss the right people when they come your way, because most times the right people come, they look skinny, they don't fit into the checklist, but they actually the people or the person that might take you for the rest of your life. But because they don't match up your checklist, your mindset, your eyes are not even looking there, you're looking elsewhere. And then the third issue or danger of gluing to your checklist is that Satan is very skillful in meeting your checklist. He knows how, once he finds out that, okay, you like fair ladies, well, or you like doctors, he's going to parade a lot of them in your life. And you might think it's God answering you, but actually, Satan is trying to answer your checklist. And because of that, he will find somebody who will give you headache for the rest of your life, even though they match your checklist. So The point we made is that don't let your heart be, don't take your checklist that seriously. But what do you do? First, detach your heart from it. Detach your heart from it. Don't let your heart hold on too tightly to it. Then, second, we mentioned that you should trust God. So, detach your heart from your checklist and then submit to God. Submitting to God means that sometimes you might not even know or trust, you might not have understanding of what He's trying to do, but trust that He knows what He's doing. Sometimes we think that God is not well skilled and He will mess up our lives if we surrender to Him. But the truth is that He's been handling many lives before you were born, and there's not a single life He's ever messed. Sometimes we kind of think that we know how to take good care of ourselves much better than God, but that's a pure lie, right? Sometimes we don't even know what is good for us ourselves, right? So detach your heart from that checklist, submit to God, and trust His leadings. Now, once your heart is not glued to checklist, then you are you've opened yourself up to God to guide and direct your passions and the things you prioritize. So at this point, when we come to talk about things that you need to focus on, your heart is not going to be running after your own desire, but because your heart is submissive to God, you will be allowing God to influence those desires. I hope, Mary, I hope the point is well communicated. So we are not saying checklist
Yes.
is wrong, but what we are addressing is where is the source of influence and motivation for that checklist. If it's from you, it's wrong. If it's influenced by God, then you are most likely to be on the right path. So, last episode, we started touching on each of the categories and explaining what to look out for. The first of them was faith. Don't marry a non Christian if you are a Christian. Why? Their value systems are very different, that you have problems along the way, particularly problems in decision making and problems in parenting. And we did justice to that. So you can listen to the previous episode on the differences between a Christian home and a non-Christian home, and why that will be a conflict if you marry somebody who is a non-Christian as a Christian. If you're a non-Christian, marry a non-Christian because your value systems will be more likely aligned. Then we mentioned the issue of character. Character, character, character. It's amazing how many people are so much in love that the guy is a cheat and they are just, they can't just, love is so strong on their heart that they can't see that this guy is dating another lady. The lady is a very quick-tempered person, and they are so much glued in love that, ah, Mary, does love blind?
I don't think love is blind. Love really has eyes and it sees. I think it's just our infatuations that blind us. Love itself is not blind. If not, you enter marriage and your eyes will open like this.
Yeah, marriage will bring the reality out of you, right? So let your mind be active. Don't just go blindly with all your heart. No, from the beginning, let your mind be the one leading. When you are sure everything is safe, now put all your heart in it. But don't start putting all your heart in it when you, I mean, there are many people with heartbreak issues, and you listen to their story and you're asking yourself, did you not see this from the beginning? Why did you keep on going? Right? So focus on character. Everybody is saying this guy is a womanizer, and only you believe that, oh, he's not, he's just a friendly guy, right? And so when things start unfolding, once some character flaws are coming up, serious ones, check out. Check out. Don't compromise on something. And we are not here to tell you if you see character ABC, check out. If you see CD, MNN, you can work on it. Most people here, you know what good character looks like.
Yeah. And Michael, I just want to drop it. I think for the challenge with most ladies is because we have a checklist. I want a tall guy, maybe 6 feet, calm, cool demeanor. He's very soft around ladies. He's soft spoken. He uses good perfume. He has good interpersonal relationship. And this guy comes and check, check, check. But one of the things we fail to understand is that 6 feet, good perfume, good interpersonal relationship, soft voice. He can rock you off your feet. Without good character, it's still a bad product. It's
Mm.
like buying a product that is wrapped in a very beautiful wrapper, but the product itself has maggots. It is rotten. So that's why this conversation is important. And specifically for our dear sisters, it is just about what I want. Marriage is not a feel good experience. You can marry a tall 6 feet guy with an with a very bad marital experience. So yeah, I just want to drop this in.
Thank you so much. So, character, please focus on character. If there are character issues now, marriage will amplify it. So, if there are character issues you need to work on it now with a person. If there are character issues that are ingrained internally so strong that you cannot work on, don't say he or she will change. Find ways of working about it. If there are serious issues, please, a broken relationship is far less painful than a broken marriage. I think we all should put that in our memories. Having a broken relationship is hurting, but it's nothing compared to a divorce. You can't imagine what a divorce can do to you, because this is you've now shared life and intimacy with a person for a year or two, and now you are parting up. It's 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 more painful than a broken relationship. So if there's a cause to break up in your relationship, once you know that this is the right step, you've sought counsel, please do that for your own good. Then we spoke about cultural differences. We mentioned that many times conflict arises from the following areas. One, lack of understanding of cultural differences. Two, lack of understanding of the basic differences between male and female. Every one of us will end up marrying from a different culture. Without exception, most, maybe 99%, unless you choose to marry your own sister. I don't know if there are current primitive cultures that still do that. But you are most, all of us are going to be marrying somebody who didn't grow up in our home. And because of that, when we say cultural difference, we are not only talking about an African marrying an European or an African marrying a North American. No, even if you are from the same country, from a different home, that's differences in culture. Their upbringing is not the same as yours. So there will be a lot of clashes that will be coming away, argument coming merely because you are different in terms of culture. Understanding it will save you a lot of headache and a lot of arguments along the way. So the question really is not, should I marry somebody from a different culture? Of course you will. The real question is, how wide a difference are you able to handle? That's the real question. If you are from culture A in a country and you are marrying from another culture from another country, you expect wider difference compared to somebody who's marrying from different cultures within the same country. So you should sit down, assess yourself. How much culture differences can I contain If I honestly cannot contain massive cultural differences, then just marry somebody from your country or your tribe. And so then you have some cultural difference to handle, but not massively. So if you're an Asian, you're marrying a North American. That's wide cultural difference. A North American will easily speak their mind, and you might think they are rude. In my culture, when we see elderly people, we bow to them. They don't say, "Oh, bow. Why should I bow? Why? Bow. Why? No, no, bow. Why?" They don't get it. And you would think, she's rude. I can marry the rude lady. And she's thinking, he's been indoctrinated. That's an indoctrinated guy. I can, how? How? And there's fight over that. Well, should there really be fight over that if you really take time to understand your cultures? Or you come from a home where the daddy makes the expenses and comes and tells the wife, "Oh, sweetie, I went out today. I bought this. And he or she is coming from a home where before decisions are made about spendings, the whole family sit down. There's a prayer meeting, pen and paper. There's a list, whole long list, and then he goes around and spends the money and comes back and says, "Oh, I've spent the money on this." Oh, and you're like, "You spend the money without me knowing how?" And there's fight over that. But if you have understood that that's the background this person is coming from, it saves you headache. So what do you do as far as culture is related? One, assess yourself. Be frank to yourself. Can you handle massive culture differences? If yes, go ahead. If no, find some safe spots for yourself. I mean, safe spots, I'm as in find somebody from a culture that's very similar to yours. Two, don't think your culture is the best. This is a big one. You will keep fighting if you think your culture is the best and their culture is the problem. No, don't do that. Acknowledge that as well intended that your parents are in giving you or the kind of belief system they passed on to you, there are some of them that are so flawed, right? So you might come from a culture where you believe the woman is still supposed to be going to the kitchen. I am supposed to come back from where my food is on the table. Well, is that the case in this day of where the lady is also a corporate lady? It might not work that way, right? So admit that your culture is not supreme. Admit that there are things that are bad about it and there are things that are good about it. And also recognize that the culture of the other person has some good in it and has some wrongs in it. So because of that, put yourselves in the shoes of that other person. Put yourself, maybe she's come from a culture, they are very rich, well to do. They don't mind spending on certain things. You come from a culture where you come from a very humble background. And I mean, to even buy water, you have to think, do we really need water in this house to drink? Can we go 2 hours without an extra drink? Because there are no fans. And the lady says, "Oh, why don't we buy this for the children?" And you're like, do they need it? Do they need it? Come on, we are, and there's fight over money. Meanwhile, just understanding that, okay, or you're planning your wedding. She wants a big wedding. You want them, no, you can't, you don't want to spend that much on a wedding. And there's fight. There shouldn't be if you understand. Sit down and trash things out. So enter the culture of the other person. The other person should also enter. Put yourselves in their shoe. If you were the one who had this upbringing, wouldn't you be thinking the same way? Then you can appreciate each other's culture. Then the last part of that was that let the Bible be the final authority. Have an authority that you can appeal to in your relationship or your marriage. Because there comes a point where, because culture is so much dear to every one of us, it's hard to let go. But when you have an authority that you appeal to, then in that case, you are more likely to come at a destination, even if both of you disagree. So let's say you believe one thing, this person believes one thing, none of you want to let go your belief system. and you read the scripture's point of view on that, because you both subscribe to the authority of the scripture, you just all give in. Well, I don't want to give up my belief. You don't want to give up your belief. But because we have both subjected ourselves to the authority of the scripture, even though we don't like what the Bible is saying, we choose to agree. So let's say something like tithing. One person believes that no, you're just giving your money for pastors to spend. The other person says that no, it's part of our spiritual prosperity stuff. And both of you are not willing to give up. And so, okay, that's faith belief though. But once the Bible now speak, you both do a study and you agree that this is what the Bible is saying clearly. Whether you like it or not, you just subscribe because that's the authority in your home. So the danger is if you don't have an authority that you appeal to from your your home or your relationship, it's chaos. It becomes chaotic because then when it comes to things that are dear to the two of you, nobody wants to let go. And you fight throughout. Or you choose, okay, let's not talk about this. Let's not talk about it. Let's just leave it. But leaving it will resurface along the way. So there must be a way out. So today, let me touch on issues regarding vocational and professional checklist, financial checklist, and physical checklist. Let me start with physical checklist. If there are married people on this line, please, I'd like your help on this topic. If you can send in comments in the chat about your view of how important physical checklist was when you were searching for a spouse, and looking now that you are in a marriage, maybe for 1 or 2 or 3 or more years, how important is it to you? If you were to choose a spouse today all over again as a married person, how much emphasis would you place on that? So the married ones on the list, on the call, please send in a chat. Let me know your thoughts. If you're a single person dating or yet to date, also send me a chat. How important is physical checklist to you? The truth is that our bodies never stay the same. Sometimes I don't know, we know this of a fact, but maybe in practice, we sometimes believe that somehow bodies will be the same. So you might see a guy who wants a very slim looking lady who catches his attention. That's okay. That might be the kind of shape that caught your attention. But be aware, she will not always be slim in your marriage. Even if she remains slim, once you are married, you are tired of seeing that slim feature all day long. You are too used to it. So if that means so much to you, you are probably putting emphasis on things that don't really matter in the marriage life. Once a lady gives birth, they've changed. They've changed. Really, I can show you pictures of Mary before I met her. And now she has changed. It is not body that I went in for. I went in for a personality. However she changes, I am still deeply in love with her. So how important is physical checklist? You answer that question. Do you need a slingy looking or a masculine hairy man to guarantee a happy marriage? No, you answer that question. There are those in a marriage with a masculine looking man who are enjoying marriage. There are also those who have their that kind of muscles and they're using to beat the lady. Mary, this is a serious thing. Please don't laugh. I'm super serious because I'm amazed how much you we by our little experience we get to meet a lot of singles and we ask, okay, who is your ideal man? And when you hear some of the things they have on their checklist, you're wondering, oh, so is marrying a 6 feet man a guarantee that you enjoy marriage? And some say, oh, I'm a lady, I'm shorter, so I want a man who is taller so that when we go out, I feel like I'm under cover, I'm protected. So is height the source of your protection?
There's a funny one I read about this week. A woman who had divorced from a previous marriage has, I think, a child or two, and has met a new man who wants to marry her. But her biggest concern, oh, the man is love and is kind, but he's short.
Hmm.
And in my head, I understood why she's divorced. Like how?
Short.
Height doesn't put food on the table. If it is a stout, tall, well built man, then he should go to the gym and audition for the guys who come there. Marriage is not about height. I know these are characteristics you want to look for. It's good to have your preference. But if that is the ultimate thing on your table, I'm sorry. Marriage is not you just need a gym instructor or somebody who can direct you each and every day.
So what we are saying is that physical checklists are not as important as the current generation person thinks of it. And for all who disagree, married people, please tell us. Okay, so there is a comment here. I think that's Rhoda and Sam. Thank you. So she says, for me, physical checklist was not a criteria, but just a list on things I admire. Okay, great. Also, those desires were not a priority at all. I only look forward to God's choice. I think this is the right posture to have. This is the right posture to have. It can just be on your list casually, but I mean, if you want a tall guy and a short guy comes and he has character, would you say he has character but he's short? No, I can't marry him. You go and marry somebody who is tall without character, and you have headache all your life, right? So I agree. I lean more towards this posture. You're okay. You're free to have your own physical checklist. That's okay. That's your own choice. But let it just be a thing. Don't disqualify anybody based on that. No, because there are more pressing things than that. So thank you, Rhoda, for sharing that. I think that's Mary. Do you want to comment on this? I like this posture. That yeah, you can have it, but don't make it a priority. Uh,
Yeah, I think that's actually the right posture every single lady should have. Okay, if I have these are things I admire. Admiration do matters in marriage. Of course, we also grow in love and we also grow in admiration. But these things shouldn't block you that a guy has been chasing you for 2 years, for 3 years, consistently. You know this person, his character is good, his attitude is good. Within that 2 to 3 years, you've suffered 4 heartbreaks, five attempted like relationships that didn't work. This guy has still been there. And your only reason for discouraging, for disqualifying this guy is the fact that he's so slim and lanky. I think if it is about size, it's not really the entire thing in because I know somebody who also married a slim and lanky man, and she's actually complaining now because the person has become so big. So life do happen, things change. Maybe you marry a Michael Agrone and forget he'll be slim and lanky
why
until
are you
Jesus
using
comes.
me? Why are you using me as an example? Please don't go there.
He will push all his fat in your body. But
Right.
I think good men exist. if you're a lady and for years you've been going through wrong relationships, I think one of the things you should check is your priorities. There are still people in your life who are interested in you, but they don't meet your checklist. So if even when they propose to you, you already put them under the carpet. You look at you. Ah, where would I even put you when we are walking in town? So this has been your idea. And that is the reason most ladies, and I say this all the time, are shocked to see certain ladies in their lives married and they themselves being single. That, oh, but I look better than her. Uh, Even the man is more suited to me. No, physical checklist should not be a criteria that if you are not 6 feet, you are off. If you are not having enough body, muscular, six packs, there is somebody who has one pack, but enough sense and wisdom to take you to where you want to be. And there's somebody with six packs who will 6 times give you pain, 6 times give you worry, 6 times give you anxiety, 6 times give you depression, and on the seventh time give you divorce. So you just have to be careful. Are my priorities things that are momentarily, or things that, because, and I think, Michael, one of the things too is the kind of conversations we have as young children. I was, when we were very young, there was a brand of books called romantic books. I don't want to quote those production lines. And you read them and they are describing the man, and he came stout and all that. So our brains are all geared towards this kind of man. And also we watch televisions, we watch movies, and always the man in love is one young looking beautiful man. There are some men that are beautiful. Like you see them nicely shaven, clean cut, and that is exactly what you are looking for. So a future owner of a conglomerate comes to you, but he doesn't look like the image in the book you've read. You will miss it, he will move on, get somebody who is interested in him, marry the person, but you still remain where you are. 5 years later, 6 years later, you are still single and you are still searching. I don't think that is God's will for any single lady.
So this is both ways, guys and ladies. Please, your checklist, put it at the side. There are more important stuff. There are more important stuff. So put that at the side. It's okay for you to have them, but don't use it as a criteria for choosing a spouse. No. Now let me talk a vocational checklist. And it might sound funny, but I don't know when this became a checklist in a case. Anyway, there are people who want to marry a doctor because they believe that doctors are caring, or nurses because they believe nurses are caring. Or for them, their dream man must be an engineer. And often they will say to you, oh, even if he's not an engineer, I don't mind. But you can see their heart is for that. It's not about it's that people, even if they go and tear their checklist, their heart is still holding on tightly. So we are talking on an issue of the heart. Vocation doesn't guarantee a successful marriage. If I were choosing a spouse now, I never had it, and I'll still not have it if I were to making that choice. Because there are people, they may come as schoolboys with no vocation or no occupation, but actually they might be the right person. Mary, why do you laugh when because I was a schoolboy, right?
Of course, I married a schoolboy, and he was a schoolboy for a very long time.
Right. So save yourself. Don't even have that on your checklist. I don't think that's necessary, because no vocation. There are doctors who are good spouses, and there are doctors who are very bad spouses. There are engineers who are good spouses. There are engineers who are very bad spouses. There are carpenters who are good spouses. There are carpenters who are very bad spouses. So vocation doesn't guarantee. It doesn't mean anything necessarily. No, no. It's different when you are talking about calling, which is different from vocation, right? We'll talk about that later on. So vocation, not important. Mary, if you want to add your voice to this, please go ahead.
I think it usually is about this sense of belonging, this sense of association, this sense of being in this group, this elite group. For example, when doctors, lawyers meet, there is this aura around them, there is this pride, there is this prestige that people would want to associate with. So, a person who is interested in marrying a lawyer might be interested because maybe lawyers have the tendency of entering politics, and in the future this lady wants to be the wife of a politician, or this man want to be the husband of a politician, or a nurse because okay they are caring. But I've also been to hospital where nurses are very very careless, that lives have been lost due to negligence and their inability to care for others. So if your reason for a vocational checklist is any of these, I don't think it is worth it. People change career all the time, people change career, and vocation is not an assurance that you are going to have a good home. You want to marry a nurse, okay, it's a 12-hour shift. Are you able to take care of the children when she's on a night shift? You didn't even bargain for that. You didn't and look at the requirements. All that you knew is that if I marry a nurse, my life will be good. But you didn't consider the fact that you would have to also step up your game to match up, because if they go for a 12-hour night shift, you have to be there to take care of the children. So I don't think, of course, find somebody who is doing something, yes, but don't be very specific. We live in a world with almost 8 billion people, and you are looking for particular career. Now you want a doctor. All the people who are coming to you are teachers. Year one, you rejected 5 teachers. Year two, you rejected 3 teachers. Year three, you rejected 1 teacher. Year four, you rejected 2 bankers. Year five, you rejected even a pastor. Year six, you are coming to counselors to pray for you, my sister. Vocational criteria is not that important. Meanwhile, you could have been living your life and enjoying it. If you really truly want to marry, allow vocation to rest, and you yourself build yourself. You want to marry a lawyer. What are you? Maybe it's a lawyer you probably crave to be as a child. Maybe you should go to the law school and become the lawyer you yourself crave to have in your life. You want to marry a doctor, maybe you should go to the medical school and become the doctor. Maybe it is what you really want, not what you want for the other person. So that's what I want to add to it.
Thank you, thank you. And Mary's example mentions from the lady's point, the guys too are included in this. Some guys have certain very serious vocational criteria, and we all should be watchful of that. The next criteria we talk about that is financial checklist.
And even before you go on the financial checklist, one of the things personally I heard after my master's studies from guys, I don't know whether they were interested or not. When I tell them that, oh, I want to go to school, I want to do my PhD, the things I heard is you are too ambitious. You are too ambitious. So there are guys too, and there are people too, who don't want highly educated people because they just want to be at par with them. They don't want to have a person who is highly educated. So you see, as you are craving for a vocational checklist, there's other people who want to marry, oh, somebody very lower than them. So in both ways, I don't think it is good for a man to say, if I marry you, you will not do. I don't want to marry a working class woman. Just stay home, cook for me, and take care of my children. Maybe in 1945 this will work. Or if you put her on a pay scale, that okay, you don't want me to work, you want me to stay home and take care of my children. This is my pay range. If I was working, I would have been earning this. Would you pay this for me at home so that I can confidently take care of your children? I wouldn't contribute to any of the upkeep. If that is sorted at your end and you are happy with it, that's fine. So occupation or non-occupation, you should know how to interrogate around these two, that okay, if she's a teacher, that's fine, because teachers, I can use her to go for loan. You actually marrying her because you want a loan. What happens when you get the loan? If he's a doctor, that's fine. Doctors have high statuses. What if he loses his license and he's no more a doctor? What happened? Okay, Michael, please go on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, financial checklist. This is another one. Financial checklist. Let me start off by saying, and this is a common phrase, at least I have heard a few times. And often I hear it coming from ladies. I want a guy who can take care of me financially. That mindset puts you in a vulnerable position. If you keep that mindset, with time, if the guy is not very godly, might begin to see you as a burden. So that whole mentality of I want a guy, when they say take care of me, often they mean provide for me. There are no questions that the male has. One of the responsibilities of the male is to provide for the home. That is definitely true. But that mindset comes across as though if you are the female and you have some resources, you keep it to yourself. And the man has to provide. It doesn't work that way. So here's the point. And in our own marriage, Mary and I, we've had this experience over many times. There are times I am working and she's not. There are times she's working and I'm not. And none of those moments have we said, "Oh, you are not working. My money is my money. Go look for yours." No. So how much? And there are many guys who can marry, or many ladies who can marry now, particularly guys, and they tell you, "Oh, I don't have money for the marriage." And you ask them, "So how much do you think you really need?" But they've not answered that question. No. Many of them, if a guy says, "Why are you not married?" Charlie, fans, so guys forget money. They say, "Oh, Charlie, the pocket be dry. Charlie, I don't have money for wedding." Just ask, how much do you think you need? Many can't answer that question. It's like a subconscious thing. They believe that they don't have money, but they've not said that. How much do you need that you are now claiming you don't have money? Can you not do it without that money that level of money? So here's the point: financial checklist. At least whoever you're marrying should be doing something. That something might not be something that is bringing $1 million a year or massive money, but that's okay. As long as they are doing some, tables may change over time. As long as they have shown that they are not lazy, their hands are up to something, they are forceful, they are hardworking, they are pushy. And I'm not saying this for only guys, I'm talking about both sides. As long as they engage in some trade, even if it's small, that is a promising feature. It might not be something that is bringing millions of money, but that attitude of that positive attitude towards work is what the emphasis should be on, rather than how much is in the bank. So this is crucial. There are guys who've inherited riches from their parents, but they are very lazy. Eventually the money will finish and you'll be hungry. There are ladies who also believe that it's the guy's responsibility to provide for the home. So their mindset is that whatever they get is for them, whatever the guy gets is for the house. No, you will soon be in a problem with that kind of mentality. So financial checklist, what should you look out for? Look out for somebody who is working. If somebody is not working at all, doesn't have any source of income, they are still dependent on parents to finance them. How are you going to cope? They may be a good person, a good match, but that just means that they are not yet ready to enter the institution. So, okay, that's okay. You can date if you are serious about that journey. But before you get into your marital home, there must be a source of income, no matter how little it is, that you can use to take care of your home.
Yeah, I'm not cutting you short, but I think the key thing is a source of income,
Hmm,
because obviously when we got married, your source of income was the fact that you were on scholarship,
hmm,
you were studying abroad, and that was giving you monthly allowance, which of course in Ghana was big money. You were studying abroad. And also I wasn't myself working, but I was also starting my PhD. I just finished my contract and I also had a source of income. I'm just saying this to a brother or a sister, and I'm not sure there was any single day in this is our 10th year of marriage. There hasn't been any single day that, even when both of us were studying, that we didn't have food to eat.
hmm,
One of the things I've realized in life is that if you give God the first place, and you yourself, you are willing and ready to commit to it, He will always provide. At one point in time, I remember when we moved to Canada, I had to look for a job that was outside of my purview, outside of my training. And it's not because I couldn't find something to do. I had a new baby and I needed something, because you were studying. And though you had a scholarship, it wasn't enough. So I wasn't having a very high standard. Now, glory be to God, I'm working in my field of training, but I had to stoop low to look for something, at least to support the home as much as I can. Why am I saying this? I think there are some of us, especially the sisters, we see marriage as a bed of roses, that all my problems in this life, financial burdens, will be dissolved as long as I am married. So they go to marry thinking that they are going to marry an ATM, they are going to marry a bank, they are going to marry a financial consultant who will deliver them from all their problems. That shouldn't be the case. So if he is supposed to find something that brings income, what of you? If you are not on maternity, that will require that you stay home and not be able to work. As long as you are active and well, even if you can't find a job in your specific field of training, just look for something that will bring you something on the table. So don't enter marriage as a solution to all your financial worries. No, that I've seen people who have entered marriage speedily. Before they will eat, they have to call another person. Oh, my husband didn't get money today. Can you give us money? They entered speedily because they felt, okay, that's the end to their problems. They themselves, they didn't prepare themselves, they didn't equip themselves, they didn't find some skills to do, they didn't get some training, they have no idea, they didn't finish their school, they don't have skills, they don't have degree, they don't have certificate, they can't do anything. All that they are looking for is another person to take care of them. If that is your idea of marriage, it's possible that you find a man who will take care of you, but you'll be bullied because you don't have anything you are contributing to the whole marital home. And that brings the whole conversation of what are you bringing to the table. I think this shouldn't even be a conversation at all. If we are all coming prepared financially, you might not have millions, but you have a few hundreds to support. You may not have thousands, but you might have some coins to support. Don't just sit back, fold your arms that, okay, she's the one working. There are men like that too. They
yeah,
just want, especially in this kind of environment in the West, when women are engaged in profitable ventures, there are men who sit home that, okay, since she's working and her salary is enough to pay the rent and the bills, let me stay home. No, no. If, and for a man, this is even outrageous, because in the beginning, God gave man a job before bringing the woman to him. So you don't, if you don't have anything to bring to give to that home, man is the God-given head of the family. You might be out of job, that is fine. Your salary might not be enough, that is fine. But don't sit aloof looking forward to her doing all the work. So what is my own conclusion? You might not be doing the most lucrative job. You can even be still a student earning maybe teaching assistantship or graduate assistantship. That does not deny you from enjoying the bliss of marriage. Marriage is good, it's nice if you desire it. There are some people, they don't desire marriage, we shouldn't actually force them. But if you desire to be married, then please don't be in a hurry to technically enter marriage when you yourself, you are not prepared and equipped. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, speaking of this, two things to mention. One, please start saving for your own marriage. Start saving. Start saving. You know you are planning to marry in the next 3 years. Even if you've not met the person, start preparing yourself financially. Put some money aside gradually. Start saving towards it. And I don't mean saving towards wedding. Wedding is one day's event. I mean saving towards marriage. After the wedding, everybody has come and eat their food. Oh, it was such a nice wedding. They all wave you bye. Now you go home and now you have to survive. That's not the time to be calling people, a newly married couple, calling people and say, look, the wedding, we all our money went to the wedding. Can you help us? No, that's a bad start.
Can
Or
you imagine?
planning, hoping that okay, if people will organize the wedding, whatever people will give us, and you are budgeting with what people will give you. No, it's a bad idea, bad idea. At least have money reserved for minimum the first year of your marriage. The first year of, I'm not mean sometimes when we say money, people think straight away wedding, the gown, the reception. No, I remember when we were planning our wedding. I said to Mary, look, our budget is tight. Oh. Those who come, they are coming to support us, not to come and eat our food. Let's package pastry for those who've come from a journey. Pastries for everybody, and those who came from a far distance, they will sit down and eat something little and then say goodbye. That's it. Today, most people cannot say they can't marry mainly because of reception, because that's where most of the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, and I think that is unfair to a lot of young couples that you spend. I heard somebody's budget for a reception, and I'm like, why? Nobody even remembers the food after 2 or 3 days. So why spend an entire fortune feeding a whole community and then go home and going to beg the whole community to come and feed you in your home? No, no.
You
And
don't.
marriage is not about a one day event, it's a lifetime. So as you are preparing for the reception, ask yourself, these thousands of dollars you are investing in this reception, what do you have after the marriage itself for you to survive? The truth is, no, even if you are living in a very competitive environment, you are not in competition with anyone. Go plan your marriage according to your cloth. You don't get married and the following day you check your gift list. You didn't see Mary's name. Then you message, Dr. Mary, I check my gift list. You didn't send your
You
own.
didn't
When is your gift coming?
Mary, where's your gift?
And these are kind of messages I get all the time that,
Yeah.
the people will even message you 2 weeks after the wedding with the invitation card just to remind you you've not sent your gift. Me, when it starts happening like that, I know, no, financially things are not working. But because you are married, congratulations, let's move on with your life. Why are you chasing me after 2 weeks with the invitation card that has expired? You
Because
need the money to.
you didn't send the gift, you have sent
Yes,
the
so they are reminding you. They are reminding you. And for those living abroad, we don't marry for people, but we end up paying school fees. We end up paying maternity bills. We end up paying house rent. Oh, no, no, no. This year, we've also made up our mind. We are on our own. We are
man.
not. Please.
You get many invitations this year then. Okay, all
If
right.
you invite me, we say congratulations, but this is very serious, especially those back home in Africa or Asia. Don't marry thinking that you have a family member abroad I remember a story of a guy who was planning to get married and distributed the wedding list. I think me and my husband, we got the wedding gown that we had to provide the wedding gown. This person will bring the shoe. This other person will sponsor the reception. And I'm like, this lady, if she knows what's good for her life, she should run for her life. This is a man who is planning to marry you with people's contribution. How is he going to feed you with people's contribution? It's not possible. Michael, the conversation is getting
Yeah,
exciting,
it's,
but
I think
our time
this
is
this
over.
will be the end of this particular discussion on checklist. Um, so in summary, we've said that there are things to take seriously, and there are others not to take seriously. And so we encouraging people to go back to. So this is the fourth episode. Am I right, Mary? There's a fourth
Yes.
episode, right? So go back, listen to all the episodes, and make your own notes. Put them before you as you are navigating your journey. Let them help you in making decisions and guiding you. At this point, Mary, I'll hand over back to you.
Thank you so much, Michael. This has been very, very great, and I appreciate all the commitment you've put in this series to make it the best series. If you are watching this one, the last episode, which is the part 4, I recommend that you go back and you watch the first part, the second part, the third part. All that we've been sharing with you is that it's important to understand, have an idea of who you want to marry, but it shouldn't be locked in a series of checklists that could deny you the potential of enjoying a good and a blissful marriage. We pray that this wisdom nugget we'll be sharing with you will guide you to make a right decision in life. It's not about marrying a tall woman, it's not about marrying a tall man, but marrying somebody who aligns with your goals and vision in life, somebody who can lead you, somebody who can be a partaker in this union of marriage. Remember, physical features, they are good, but they fade. When they fade, where will be your lasting point? Money is good, but money can pass away. To marry a teacher is good, but what if they decide to change career? All these things are things you should consider in your decision for marriage. May God help us all. Michael, can you pray into our lives and then we have our theme song and we are done?
Okay, before I pray, let me use the time to thank all of you. I see Elio. I hope I got the name right on the on she you mentioned you sent a message. That's why I can see your name. Thank you so much for being here. I see at Lord Kavi, and then I see Rhoda Ansa, and a lot of others who I cannot see because you have not sent any message yet. I want to thank you for your time, for taking the time to be with us. Please share this truth with anybody that you think might find it useful. And you are welcome to consume any of our resources on YouTube and any of the platforms. Share them with friends. If you have any comment or suggestions for us, please reach out to us in our email, mybeautifulmarriagegarden@gmail.com. We would love to hear back from you. We would love to hear your thoughts. We would love to just just stay in touch with you at any point. So God bless you so much. So Mary, you asked me to pray. Let's share a word of prayer briefly. Father, we are grateful. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to wonderful people all across the globe on various matters of marriage and relationships. I pray that these teachings will go a long way to help somebody. Lord, together help us to bring down the divorce rate in our current generation. That 20% that is being alleged, I pray that by your power and your strength, you help us to make right choices right from the beginning so that we will enter marriage right and do what is right. We thank you in Jesus' name. Bless our audience wherever they are coming from. Let it be well with them. Let their rest of the day be blessed. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. So you can also visit our website www.beautifulmarriagegarden.com. If you want to read more about our ministry, Michael and Mary Agrona Ministries, you can also visit www.michaelandmaryagrona.com. God bless you all, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. After our theme song, it is us saying goodbye to you. Take care of yourself, be blessed and highly favored.
Did I hear you say next year or next week?
Oh, next year. Next week. Yeah, see you all next week.
When the rush of life feels louder than our vows, and weeds of worry try to take the ground, you, Lord, teach our hearts to slow, to tend, not tear, to speak with gentle truth and listen in repair. When the storms roll in and nights run long, we're rooted in your faithful love, still strong. Plant the seed, tend the soil, let the Spirit be the rain. In the beautiful marriage garden, you are mending every pain. With a cord of three unbroken, we will stand and sing. Love grows wild and holy in the shelter of the King. For the single heart that's learning how to wait for the bride and groom with calendars and fate. For the decades deep who water vows with grace. No seasons ever wasted in your cultivated place. Teach us tools to heal, to reconcile and forgive, to guard our words with wisdom and choose peace is how we live. Plant the seed, tend the soil, let the Spirit be the rain. In the beautiful marriage garden, you are mending every pain. With a cord of three unbroken, we will stand and sing. Love grows wild and holy in the shelter of the King. We'll prune our pride, lift truth to life, and pray through every night. We'll learn to fight for us, not me, and keep our hearts contrite. Speak life, listen slow, let your word be where we go. Unity with purpose, hand in hand we grow. Plant the seed, tend the soil, Spirit be our rain. Make our covenant a mirror of your kindness once again. With a cord of three unbroken, we belong to you. Beautiful marriage garden, blossoming in truth. Let it grow in your love, we bloom again.